Hello and welcome back to another episode of Power Rangers Lore. This month is Black History Month, so we're going to talk about some of the best African American Power Rangers out there. I can't say Black Rangers because they've been a whole variety of different nationalities through going on there, so let's talk about there today. And today, we're going to start out with TJ. Theodore Jay Jarvis Johnson, also known as TJ, is quite a mouthful to say. However, this Ranger has a huge history just as big as his name. Apparently, when he was a child, which was only a few years before this, he always wanted to be a Power Ranger and was unaware that one day that his fantasy would be a major reality and he would go about to affect not just the lives of those around him, but of all Power Rangers that would descend after him as well on so many different levels. He is the hand-picked chosen one to succeed Tommy Oliver by none other than Tommy Oliver to replace him as leader of the team on Turbo after being saved by him and Cassie after an attack by Divatox, who then captured then leader Tommy. Now, TJ fought off the Piranhatrons, helped Kat, helped Tommy from his prison, and because of his bravery and assistance in saving the others, including an unmorphed Kat, who he had no idea was a Ranger at the time, but was a female in distress and a person in need against alien invaders, he helped without any fear for his own safety. He was chosen to succeed and form the new team of Turbo Power Rangers, leading a brand new team other than Justin. Now, he would be the second person to wear the mantle of the Red Turbo Ranger and would have to deal with a huge responsibility as well as a big shadow behind him of Tommy Oliver himself. Now, thankfully, he had a whole new crew except for Justin, who was there basically as a guide in the team since the beginning of the series and the movie that came beforehand to help him as a veteran Ranger and help him a little bit here and there. Now, TJ was a warm-hearted and friendly person, as well as very intellectual. I'm just going to skip that word. He's very intelligent in his decision-making. However, sometimes if a little issue would pop up, it would completely throw off his entire mindset, and he would need a bit of a confidence boost to keep him going. He was also a star baseball player. Now, he had a few starring episodes, one being when his confidence was broken in an episode known as the Curveball, where his basically skills as a baseball player are thrown into question when he meets a new person who is basically throwing this new fastball at him that completely throws him off his game. He's doing all his study, and then he has a monster who's doing very much the same type of fastball that he can't wrap his head around at all. Well, after saving the young man who had thrown the fastball at him, the guy decided to pay TJ back by showing him how to basically square up against it and knock him out of the park. Now, this helped TJ get over his lack of confidence there, as well as deal with the monster of the week, and continue on from there as his rightful leader as the Turbo Rangers. Now, the other episode would be him getting in contact with Lightning Cruiser, a semi-sentient car that apparently had been sealed away in stone for hundreds upon thousands of years and came to Earth looking for help. Now, Divatox had been chasing him, and him and Justin were able to connect with Storm Cruiser and Lightning Cruiser and Storm Blaster. I was just mixing the names around. They were able to connect with these vehicles and gain their firepower. It was very interesting vehicles to be that they were semi-sentient, but hey, whatever. Another episode would be him dealing with a nature spirit and basically figuring out, do not pollute. There are more things out there than you just think of rather than we take advantage of, such as the forest. Maybe it might have feelings of its own. And his own little special episodes here and there. And, well, then came the ending of the series where he had to deal with the ramifications of an entire invasion of Divatox herself, storming the command center, blowing it up, and leaving the Rangers completely and utterly powerless. The only thing that saved them was a herald of Dark Spectre arriving, telling Divatox to return to this planet to basically form up against this grand alliance of evil. Now, she basically goes, well, at least Earth is now defenseless, I'll be back after this, and flees. Now, he, along with the rest of the Turbo Rangers, minus Justin, who remains behind to stay with his father, take off to go find Zordon, who's been captured by the forces of evil, along with Alpha 6. Now, Alpha 6 was not captured, but remained behind. Alpha 5 is supposedly captured. Now, they would go into space from there, where they would have no powers and find themselves aboard an alien ship. Man, none other but a new Red Ranger known as Andros, who is from a distant planet known as KO-35. Now, it takes a little bit, but the remaining Rangers there have to convince Andros that they are Rangers and on his side. They're looking for Zordon and to fight the forces of darkness. Eventually, Andros gives in and makes them all turning them from Turbo Rangers to In-Space Rangers. Now, TJ is demoted from a Red Ranger to a Blue Space Ranger, but he doesn't take too much against it. He quickly steps down and gives up his functional leadership role to Andros. However, is able to teach Andros some stuff in this role, such as leadership. He still displays strong leadership skills throughout the entire series, while he helps Andros become more familiar with teamwork. See, Andros has been basically for the last 2 years working solo, so he's not been known to work together at all, besides with another Ranger known as Zane, who was put into a coma because he tried to save him from a blast of energy. Now, that basically puts a damper on the leadership role, but Andros does eventually take the full mantle of the leadership role and continue on from there, though does have much support from TJ helping him from the background as the second in command. Now, there'll be a few episodes that really start out for TJ. One is where he basically figures out that Bulk and Skull are not thieves at all, and several different things here and there, and helping Bulk and Skull on several different levels. However, the major things in space are when he takes 2 serious head injuries. Now, one of these would be in a fight against Dark Lipter, a being that is part Ecliptor, part Darkonda, mixed together with a weird Dragon Ball Z-like fusion, and basically leaves him with temporary amnesia, where he does not believe he's a Power Ranger and has no responsibilities to save these other Rangers at all. However, he quickly realizes that he is a Power Ranger when he realizes Morpher is still on his wrist and activates, triggering his memories all back. The second would be when he is fighting the Psycho Blue Ranger and is nearly killed by him, who places him in a basic coma aboard the Astro Mega ship. However, he swiftly recovers and is able to work out a plan to defeat the Psycho Blue, basically disguising the entire team as all Blue Space Rangers, preventing them from targeting any certain Ranger to deal with that counterpart, because they know how to deal with a Blue Ranger. Since he doesn't know which one's the Blue Ranger, he can't use all those Blue Rangers' fighting skills against him. Now, this would basically take out the Blue Space Ranger for the remainder of the series and continue on from there. Now, he would perform in the final battle, fighting against the United Alliance of Evil, and continue on from that point. Okay, we're gonna come. After dealing with this Blue Psycho Ranger, he would remain as the Blue Space Ranger from there on out, the rest going back to their normal colors, and would participate in the final battle against the United Alliance of Evil, though his identity would be released to the public as he rallies the forces of Earth against the invading forces of darkness. Now, he would appear once more in Lost Galaxy. He would fight alongside Andros, along with the other Space Rangers on Terra Venture, to help the Lost Galaxy Power Rangers deal with these returning Psycho Rangers. Now, they would fight and destroy the Psycho Rangers, but not before the cost of one of their fellow Rangers, Kendrix Morgan, who sacrificed herself to stop the Savage Sword from fully killing Cassie and defeating the Pink Psycho Ranger herself. Now, he would also fight alongside Kai Chen against the Psycho Blue Ranger, and successfully defeat the Psycho Blue Ranger from there on out, forever destroying, supposedly, the Psycho Blue Ranger from there on out. From that point, he would return once more for Wild Force. In this episode of Wild Force, he is in the Forever Red episode and would not be the only returning Ranger, but a whole slew of past Red Rangers from Mighty Morphin up to Wild Force itself. And he would join the crew. However, he would be back in his red Turbo Ranger outfit, though it is not understood how he was able to do so, except maybe he got his powers from Lightning Cruiser back, just as Justin got his powers back from Storm Blaster in Power Rangers in Space. Now, it is also revealed then that his full name is that whole slew of name, rather than just TJ Johnson, but instead Theodore Jay Jarvis Johnson. Yes, that is still a mouthful to say. Now, in this battle, he is fighting against the forces of the Machine Empire, who were seeking to restore the power of the Serpentera that was once Lord Zedd's mighty Megazord to destroy Earth. Now he teams up with Lee Colbert to destroy Automon, sounds like a Digimon on many levels, and basically destroys him once and for all. Now, from there on out, it is explained that TJ mentions the Zeo team, and that he knew not only about the Turbo Rangers, but as well as many different Rangers from there on out. It's basically his whole connections. That was his bragging point, that he knew all these different Rangers, so you guys need to calm down. Now, Andrew counters that and goes, well, I killed Zordon, which is, I don't think you should brag that you killed Zordon at all. No one should ever brag about killing Zordon. I'll keep saying it, Andros. You shouldn't have bragged about killing Zordon. Now, for a split second, he is shown in Dino Thunder as the chronological episode of the history compiled by Tommy Oliver, as the Dino Thunder team is looking to figure out where Tommy disappeared to and the history of Power Rangers itself. He's shown there as in Turbo, and then also in, well, in Space. Now, he appears in person once more in Super Mega Force, along with Cassie, helping the residents of Hartford County, reuniting with the other Space Rangers to defeat the Armada once and for all, and fighting the huge battle known as the legendary battle against the forces of darkness that were seeking to invade, along with every Ranger team ever. Now, he is one of the actual Rangers to show up and salutes the Mega Rangers. He would appear once more in person for the final time so far in Super Ninja Steel. Now, this is a very interesting episode because he's contacted by Tommy Oliver about some threat coming up. However, when he's met by Tommy Oliver, it is found out that it is not Tommy at all, but a robotic duplicate disguised as him. Now, he is among a few other legendary Rangers who was kidnapped and taken to another universe known as the Antiverse by someone by the name of Lord Draven. Hooked up to a computer and entirely unconscious, TJ's morpher is used to create a Robo Ranger soldiers devised from the Blue Space Ranger outfit. Now, fortunately, he, along with other captives, are soon rescued by their fellow legendary Rangers. Now, opposed to Draven's goal of conquering everything, apparently, and thank God for that, TJ morphs once more and fights alongside the legendary Rangers, as well as the newest team of the block, the Ninja Steel Rangers, combine their powers once and for all to wipe out this Robo Ranger army of evil. Now, once Draven is defeated, TJ joins his fellow veteran Rangers in praising this new team and basically slapping on the back and saying, "Keep it up, guys, you have a heck of a crew going on." He returns back to his own dimension. Now, he is talked about again in Beast Morphers, where he is shown in a clip video fighting against the Psycho Rangers, when the villains there were talking about who to revive next, and they were thinking about bringing about the Psycho Red Ranger with the Reanimizer. They chose against doing this for basically the level that Psycho Red was just too focused on one Ranger rather than getting the entire job done. Now, in the split history of the Shattered Grid, he is shown there being attacked and, well, having some issues dealing with the forces of Lord Draken. He is part of one of the group that is captured, and, well, you know, he's eventually saved, don't worry, and comes back when his timeline is restored after Draken is defeated. TJ has had a huge impact in the entire Rangers storyline. He's been part of so many different series, almost as many as Tommy Oliver himself. Now, most people don't know who TJ is because, well, most people did not like Turbo. Why? Because, well, people were very bitter when the original team left, and some people alluded to the fact that people didn't like cars back then. I would say basically they're just more upset that Tommy and the rest of the crew left, leaving this new team that we weren't sure anything about at all. However, they do know him from In Space, and it is a very good season of In Space that revitalized the entire Power Rangers genre. Now, TJ doesn't get enough credit in my opinion. I think he's a really good Ranger, a really good character overall, who had a lot of storyline. He didn't have a love interest like many of the other Red Rangers throughout the series, but he did show that he was a good team leader. He was able to lead the team and also give guidance and step down when he was no longer the team leader at all. Now, he's been part of so many different crossovers, even working with the Ninja Turtles at one point in Power Rangers in Space, so do not shy out from this legendary Ranger himself, none other than Theodore Jay Jarvis Johnson, TJ Johnson himself, the Red Turbo Ranger, the Blue Space Ranger, and who knows what else he's going to be in the future. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Power Rangers Lore. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It took me a little while to do this recording. There was so much more research to do here, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Do you guys like TJ? Did you guys like Turbo when he took over? Did you like him in Space? What was the series that really stood out for you guys? What was your favorite crossover for him? Put them in the comments down below. I want to hear. I have a few things I want to say here and there. I really liked the battle sequence for Forever Red. I thought it was really good there. And I really like the fact that he alludes to the fact that it's like, hey, I know all these other Rangers before you guys even knew what's going on there. A little braggy, but hey, they're all bragging in the end. Let me know, guys. And until next time, may the power protect you always.